welcome back on Dynamo. Today I want to propose you the third part about the videos related to Forbidden Power. That it's the new release about Age of Sigmar. In the beginning I decided to do only a video about this part, that it's about the rules for Forbidden Power for the match play. Simply I noticed that there were quite a lot of things to talk about, so I decided to separate it in different videos, so that you can choose which one you are interested about and go to see it. So I realized 4 videos, one that it's about the Realm of Battle Styx, one that it's about the Lethisian Army, one that it's about the Legions of Grief, and one about the Masonry, so that you can go to see the one that you are interested about, and anyway you have a complete analysis and you can choose which one or all the ones that you are interested about. Remember that you can find all the videos and also the other ones about the unboxing of the set box of Forbidden Power and the unboxing of the book of Unforbidden Power. In the description I put the link to the playlist about Forbidden Power. So now we can begin. And this video in particular it's about the Lethisian Army. This is an analysis that you can gain with this Forbidden Power book, and this is composed by the units that gain the keyword Lethisian Defender. The Lethisian Army can only include units that have one or more of these following keywords: Stormcast Eternals, Idonet Deepkin, Caradron Overlords, Fire Slayers, and Executioner Warpriests. In addition, you have to remember that there are some limitations about the units that can be added, and that you can't include any units that has the keyword Hammers of Sigmar, Vostarg, or Vulturnus. So you have a lot of different units that can participate, but you have also a limited amount of limits about the units that can be used as keywords. But surely there are quite a lot of interesting combinations that you can gain and create an army with. And now we can see the battle traits related about this Lethisian Army. This Lethisian Army has 2 battle traits and 1 command ability, specific ones. The first of the battle traits is Warriors of the Grand Necropolis, that for all the Lethisian Defenders keywords, so all the units that you have for such army, because they have the Lethisian Army keyword 1, you can reroll in the Battle Shock phase all the Battle Shock test for such units. Moreover, if you have human Lethisian Defender armies units and Dwarven Lethisian Defender units, you can have a +1 to hit rolls if you charged in the same turn. But remember that you have to be, again, Lethisian Defender, but only human and Dwarven keywords are added to Lethisian Defenders. So you have to pay attention that only such units have this bonus. The Battle Shock rerolling is for all the Lethisian Defenders. Such bonus charging 1, it's only for such units, so human and Dwarven. The second battle trait, it's only related about Achaian keywords units, and it's Achaian Phalanx. In fact, it adds 1 to the move characteristic and 1 to the charge rules for the Achaian Lethisian Defenders units. So they had to be still Lethisian Defenders units, but had to be Achaian ones. So they have to have the keyword Achaian too. So it improves quite a lot the movement of such units, but it applies only, again, to only such Achaian Lethisian Defenders units. And now we can talk about the command ability specific one, that it's Onyx Shield Wall. This lets you use this command ability at the start of the enemy combat phase, so only the enemy one. And if you do so, pick a friendly Lethisian Defenders Liberators, so Lethisian Defenders again, but only Liberators, so only from the army of the Stormcast the Liberators ones. And these units has to be wholly within 12 inch of refracting Lethisian defenders Stormcast Eterna's heroes. So you have to have also such a little amount of range, and until the end of that phase, the enemy combat phase, add 1 to the save rules for attacks that target that Liberator's units. However, that Liberator units cannot make piling moves in that phase, so it's good and bad too, because you have to remember that yes, you can survive better because you decrease the amount of options that can kill because you improve your safe rolls, but it's also true that you can't pile in, so you risk that the opponent has the ability to make you not being able to reach in the way that you can have the models in the range for their weapons. So it's something that you have to pay quite a lot of attention on how to position in your models. But surely it's really quite interesting in the way that you have to preserve a unit and try to resist as much as you can. And now we can start to see the command traits for the Lethisian Army. And we have 3 different command traits available. The first one is Raven Priest, that make you have the general gains the priest keyword. If this general is already a priest, as that priest keyword, it knows 2 prayers of murder instead of 1. The prayers of murder I'll talk quite soon are the specific prayers for the Lethisian army. This is my favorite command trait for such army, because it lets you have the model that gain the keyword, and so even if you don't include any other of models that have priest keyword, you have still one of them being such, and you have access to the prayers. Remember also that if you combine it with the Region of War Stitch, you have an additional prayer that you can use, that it's communion with the ancient dead. So it has quite a lot of interesting combination that can be available to you. So it's really quite interesting one, and I think that it's the more interesting about. The second command trait is Solemn Soul, that let you not make battle shock tests for friendly Lethisian defender units while they are wholly within 12 inch of the general. This is the quite usual command trait for the order units, so it's really quite interesting. But it's not so bad if you're going to think that the counterpart about this Lethisian army is the Legion of Grief, that make you have quite a lot of malus to your bravery, and so it can be quite awful in the battle shock phase in the case. So being able to gain an immunity, it can be really quite interesting ones. But remember also that you have the battle trait Warriors of the Grand Necropolis. So you have to understand if the rerolling is sufficient for you, or you need also eventually the possibility to have the immunity other than the normal command abilities that you can gain from the manual, from the core rule book. So think about such one, because it's a classic one but not so useless. The third one of the command traits is Sinister Aura, that let you add 1 to the general wounds characteristics, and in addition subtract 1 from the bravery characteristic of enemy units while are within 6 inch of this general. Surely for applying such command trait you have to have the notion to have the general going active against the opponent's units, and having that you want it more resilient, and moreover to make in the way that you can have the battle shock test even worse. Moreover, it can be really quite combined with the artifact of power Crown of Raven Fevers, this command trait. But remember also that it applies only to the model, the +1 to the wound characteristics, so it's quite more personal as a command trait. It's not bad, but surely it's the worst that I think about such command traits, because I find the other two, the Raven Priest and the Solemn Soul, much better than this one in the way to think about the army. And now we can start to see the artifacts about the Lethisian army. So we can see these ones. And the first one that we can see, it's one of my favorite ones, cause it's Crown of Raven Fevers, and it lets you roll a dice each time you allocate a wound or a mortal wound to the bear, and on a 5 plus that mortal wound is negated. So it's really quite interesting one in such a way, cause it lets you have a hero that it's quite more resilient. So if you combine it with eventually the option to heal with the Stormcast, for example, or other things, it allows you to have quite a lot of ways to preserve this model. So I find it that combining with the normal say that you can gain, it allows you really quite a lot more survivability and also quite a lot more options to make such model being useful for your strategy. So I think that it's really the main one about the relics that you can gain. And the second artifact, it's a quite usual one, that it's Severed Blade. This one let you pick one of the bearer's melee weapons and add one to the damage characteristic of that weapon. And instead, if you target a death unit, the damage added is 2. So in the case that you have a weapon that gains quite a lot of attacks, it can become quite useful. Or otherwise, you have a weapon that yet does quite a lot of damage and improved a bit. But sincerely, I don't find it quite exceptional. I prefer other artifacts to help you, because I don't find it so good. Because I think that, okay, you add something, but it's only related about one weapon, so I prefer to add something else. And the last one of the artifacts is Flask of the Lethisian Dark Water, that let you add once per battle at the start of the combat phase. The bearer use this artifact and heal the 6 wounds that the bearer had. And it's really quite interesting, because it means that you can choose. It doesn't specify that has to be your one. So usually such type of healing are done in the hero phase, and using in such a way let you have the option that you can heal after maybe you suffer from a shooting phase from the opponent. So it's quite interesting one in such a way, because it gives you more survivability, and I think that it can become really quite interesting in such a sense. Obviously, it's up to you decide if this is better or not, because you have also other artifacts to choose from. So it's up to you, but it's really quite useful, even if only once for battle, because it's really quite a thing that can save your hero. And now we can see about the prayers of Lethisian Army. We have a total of 3 different prayers. Remember that each prayer can choose one of these ones, but only once per turn you can use one of such ones. So if you use one of these, you can't use with another priest the same one. You can choose another one to use that it knows, but not you can't use twice the same prayer in the same turn. So take note about such thing. And remember also that usually you know only one of such prayers for priests, but if you know the command trait Reverend Priest, the general it's the priest themselves as keyword, you have access to 2 of such prayers. So take note also about such options. And the first of the prayers is Morda Resurrection, that let you pick a friendly mod that knows this prayer, and on a 3 plus you can choose a friendly Lethisian defender unit wholly within 18 inch of the prayer, and return a number of slim models to that unit equal to the combined wounds characteristic to the roll of a d3. Remember that here exists a fact about a similar effect that comes from the Legions of Nagash, and surely will be fact in the same way. So you can only resurrect a complete model. So if you can't have one model and a half and so on. So if you roll, for example, a single one, you can reroll only units that have models with a 1 wound characteristic 1. If you have, for example, a unit that has a 2 wounds characteristic as model, you on only a 3 plus you can gain back that model, but you can't gain, even if you roll a 5 or 6, another model, because it will be 3 wounds and you can gain back only a model that has 2 wounds complete. And in the case that you need a 3 wounds model, you need a 5 plus. And 4 or more wounds, you can forget about resurrecting them. So take a note about such limitation, because it's quite an imposing one. It's amazing, but remember also the limitations about such prayer. The second of the prayers is Mordsa Eye, that let you on a 3 plus pick an enemy unit within 18 inch of the model chanting and subtract 1 from its rolls attacks made by that unit at the until the start of the next zero phase. So it can become really quite interesting once to make a unit being less problematic when you combat against it. But remember that it's not only about the melee weapons, but also about the shooting weapons, so all the attacks. So pay attention about such detail, because it can make such prayer quite more available and quite more interesting to pick up. And the third one, it's again really interesting one, because it's Morza Embrace, and let you on a roll of 3 plus to make reroll the save rolls of 1 for attacks that targets the friendly units wholly within 12 inch of the model chanting display until your next hero phase. Here I want to remember one thing. Okay, the range of 12 inch wholly within, it's not quite a lot, but remember that it's like being able to cast a mystic shield on an area. So it's really quite amazing in that way. So it's something that I suggest you to take note, because such one is really quite interesting as being able to preserve your units and save even one of your spells in the case, or giving in the way that you can have another area to play the spells eventually. So it's really quite an interesting one also, this one. About the prayers, sincerely I'd say that all the ones that we talked about of the prayers of Morda are really quite interesting ones, and you have only to choose. It's better even not to choose and pray quite a bit of praise in the way that you have the options to have all of them playable, and it's up to you decide if worth or not. But surely even only this one on a 3 plus being able to have a mystic shield on area, I think that it's quite useful. So what to say about this Lethisian Army? I think that it's really quite amazing, but it's not gold everything that shines, because there is a bit of problem about such Lethisian Army, and it's that you can't have war scroll battalions. Okay, you'd say, okay, but what mine does if you can't have war scroll battalions? You can't have in such a way mount rates for your stormcast. You can't have another artifacts for your stormcast, and so you have to add the option to have only one artifact. You can gain, moreover, only artifacts that comes from the Lethisian Army or from the Marine Sorcery, because they are the only artifacts available, because you can't use the ones from your own battle tomes, because they are referring those ones only to that battle tome. So only if you use the battle tome as the alliances there. So here you have another alliances, so you have to refer about this. So you have quite a lot of options. Surely you have the possibility to have quite a lot of personalization, but you have also to remember that you have to pay attention to some of the limitations. Obviously, you could find that maybe with a fuck they add also the Vasco Battalion. Surely, if it's studied, this referring can be forgotten, because you have also that option. But the description of the Lethisian Army say only units, doesn't say anything about Vasco Battalions. Anyway, this is really quite an interesting one about analysis to play, because surely you have quite a lot of things that can really make you have fun and have a nice time playing Age of Sigmar with. So, from Dino Mode, it's everything. I invite you to put a like on this video, to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell, and to comment this video if you are interested in something about this video or you want to suggest me some arguments for other videos. I hope to see you again to the next time.